Hey guys, welcome to my channel among.stouts. If you're new here, my name is Samantha, and in today's video I am bringing you another curriculum picks video. This is for my son going into the 8th grade, and if you watched my Classical Conversations bookstore haul, you know most of what he's going to be using because it all came from that bookstore. But I did finally decide, or we did finally decide on exactly what he's using for math and what a couple of his electives are going to be. So I'm really excited to share this with you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to show you is the resource that he's going to use, which is for Henley Latin. He is doing his second year of Henley Latin, but it's still in the Henley Latin Year 1 book. He has that still in his room because he's just, you know, maintaining that Latin work and doing that throughout the summer. So I don't have that to share with you guys, but I will share with you the workspaces. So he just completed A, and they go through this entire workspace during the school year of Challenge A. And so whenever they're in Challenge B, 8th grade next year, they will do the first semester of the exercises that are in the A workspace, and then they add on and they'll do in the second semester the exercises that are in workspace B. So for workspace A, this was units 1 through 3 in that Henley curriculum. And I haven't looked to see exactly what all units they do in B, but they're just going to continue past. They'll do units 1 through 3 again and then start up in 4. And I don't know if they only do 4 or 4 and 5 or what that looks like. I will know before he starts because I got to get that prep, but I just don't know right now. And the next thing that he's going to be doing is they are going to be reading short stories, and those short stories come from and these books are put out by CC. From their own, I think their own like publishing company. So this is Tanglewood Tales, and then the American Spirit Storybook. And I think I'm gonna read this with him and all of my other kids just because we're doing American history this cycle. I haven't quite decided yet. If we don't read it all together, he'll just read it on his own along with this one. And so there's short stories in there that they're going to read. And then they pair that with the words aptly spoken short stories. And these are always really good because it gives you, once you read through the books in some of these words aptly spoken or the short stories, it gives you really good review questions. So if you can't think on your feet of like really good review questions to ask your kids, this is really good at giving you that. So I just opened to a space here. So it'll have review questions here and some thought questions. So definitely, if you're in Challenge A or B, definitely check out and really dig into the words aptly spoken. They're really great resources. And so they read all those short stories because what they're going to do in the second semester is write a short story themselves. And so let's see, let's do logic. Logic is fun, and I don't really mean that. So they tackle both introductory and intermediate logic in 8th grade. So they'll do work out of the introductory logic. And this is the one put out by Canon Press. So I have the student book, I have the teacher book here, and then I have the test and quiz packet along with the DVD. So I'm planning on watching the DVD and digging into the teacher's guide this summer first and foremost, just so I can get my head wrapped around this course and what it's going to entail. And then I'll do the prep work for the intermediate over Christmas break. So that is introductory logic, and I said they do intermediate. So here is the nice big teacher's guide for that. And then again, I have the student handbook, test and quiz packet, and the DVD for that. So that's going to be challenging but fun this year. Another really fun thing that they're doing this year is mock trial. They do mock trial in Challenge B. And so this is the mock trial notebook, and it's the Commonwealth versus Zilius case. We went to the mock trial for our for the Challenge B students that we had this year while he was in Asia, so we can get an idea of what it was, what it looked like, what it's going to be like. My son really likes to be prepped for things rather than just, you know, going in blind. So I think that was really helpful for him to be able to get an idea of what mock trial looks like, so that he's not so afraid of it whenever we are in B and, you know, getting ready to go through it ourselves. So really excited for mock trial. And then for science this year, they're going to be studying famous scientists. So for that, I have the Classical Acts and Facts by Classical Conversation science cards, Seeking to Know Famous Scientists. And I also have, I actually have quite a few books that include certain scientists in there. So depending on what it looks like, I don't think I'll have to purchase anything else for him to do his research. But if I do, we'll go to the library and pick up some books, or maybe purchase them if I think that'll be helpful for my daughter and the rest of my kids later on. I generally like to buy all of the books just because I have so many more kids behind him that as long as they stay in good shape, I can just use them. And then we have, I said this wrong in my unboxing video, but this is Discovering Atomus, a grammatical introduction to atomic processes in chemistry. So there's that. Let's see. The books that they are going to be reading in addition to those short stories are Where the Red Fern Grows, Little Britches, Father and I Were Ranchers. And sorry if you hear my baby girl in the background. She's hanging out with Daddy while I film this video. And she doesn't sound too happy back there. And then I have An Easy to Understand Guide for Defeating Darwinism by Opening Minds, Philip E. Johnson, author of Darwin and Trial. So this will be exciting to go through. We have The Hiding Place. And then the first book that they're going to read, which he's going to start here soon, is The Phantom Toll Booth. So that is everything for specific to Challenge B. What we are adding on for extras or electives, and when I add these on, because Challenge is so robust, these are just things that he does like once or twice a week. And then once we finish out with the Challenge year, he'll have some left, you know, plenty to work on throughout the summer to take, just to keep him busy and having something to do. He usually, like this year, he had math to finish and then a couple of his electives. So that seems to be working out just fine. And I don't mind adding on the extra if I'm not stressing him out or making too much out of it. So this is the book 8 of Wordly Wise. Like I always say, I add it in every year. It's just one of those things that my kids are always going to do until they graduate. And then his first elective, or let's do math. So for math, we went with the Learn Math Fast system, and I got the high school math books. So that is book 5, 6, and 7, and here they are here. So there's 5, 6, and 7. So you'll probably see these over the next couple or few years, because I'm just going to let him go through these at his own pace and get him ready for college level math. What the author of these books says is by the time they get through all of these volumes and all of the high school books, that kiddos should be ready for college level math. So that is my hope. So he's going to start with this book, which is book 5, the first high school level math, and go through that, and we'll get through these when he gets through them, and then hopefully he'll be ready for dual enrollment for college algebra. And so his first elective is astronomy. You know, he has an interest in, and I already had the book for it, so I just had to buy the like a guide for us to go through it. So it's Exploring the World of Astronomy, and we got the Memoria Press guide to go with it. So this is the answer key and test. The student book I ordered from Christian Book, but it's like been on back order. So when that comes, we'll use it. But if it doesn't come, I told him we'll just go through the questions verbally, one-on-one together. So this is what we're going to use. And I think that like I said, we'll do a chapter, you know, a week or every 2 weeks, have him do like one. Yeah, we'll take about, depending on how long the chapters are, there's 13 chapters in this, so we'll probably do a chapter over the course of a couple of weeks and then have him just, you know, slowly work on the work or just verbally discuss it to make it more low pressure. But this is something that he has been interested in for a while, so we're going to go ahead and just take a deep dive on astronomy this year. And then if you've seen my videos in the past about my son and his interest, you would have seen that I've always had books on like architect design for him because he has an interest in becoming an architect. And so this year his second elective is on architecture. So we're taking it a little bit further than we have in the past, more than just doing activities and like just really going to learn about architecture. And but I have architecture for teens, and it's a beginner's book for aspiring architects. It says, architecture is a fascinating, diverse field that blends technology, creativity, engineering, and even psychology. Discover the possibilities with this inspiring introduction to the world of architecture created just for teens. Delve into the history of architecture, learn about contemporary innovations in sustainability and inclusivity, and uncover the details behind real architectural projects. Start with an overview of important architectural movements and designers from thousands of years ago to the modern day. Learn about the role of an architect and check out inspiring interviews with contemporary professionals with tons of practical advice for pursuing an architectural career. This book will show you how to build an environmentally responsible world from the ground up. So it says architecture essentials, get to know the 5 basic elements of architecture: structure, program, economic, aesthetics, and region. I think this is a really good like beginner's guide for learning architecture. And I don't remember where I saw it at, but I saw somewhere someone has like a unit study on architecture. I need to figure out where I saw that so I can get it and pair it with these. But this I also think is really important because whenever we watch anything about architecture, they always talk about like these great architects, and we don't know who they are. And so I think if this is a field that my son's truly interested in, that's probably something he should know. So I got this, 13 Architects Children Should Know. This is the book here. It says, find out about 13 of the men and women who are responsible for famous buildings around the world. Learn how Christopher Wren built St. Paul's Cathedral after the devastating Great Fire of London, and read how American President Thomas Jefferson found time to become a famous architect. The book also tells about how Frank Lloyd Wright and Zaha Hadid broke down the barriers of modern architecture. So that's this, and it has a whole bunch of other stuff in there too. So I'm really excited about that. If I do find that architect unit study and you guys are interested, I'll be sure to share that with you guys. If you happen to know what that study is or who created it, post it down below and help me out. But that's all that I have. That is my son, who is going into the 8th grade, all of his curriculum, Challenge B, plus a little bit of extras, and his math. I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing what he's going to be using next year for his 8th grade year. And if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a like. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit subscribe. I would love to have you here as a part of my community, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!